What's up, everyone? Welcome to Heroes Avenue. Yeah, you like that? So, if you guys haven't seen this, this is our prototype shirt for our upcoming event that we're going to wear. So, me and Rob are going to be covering FanimeCon or Fanime, whatever it's called. It's a convention in San Jose called Fanime, and it's for anime. And it's going to be next week. We got press badges. So excited for that, and we're gonna be wearing these shirts. And since these are our prototype shirts, we are eventually going to start selling these shirts. So we're still coming up with the perfect design, trying to find the right supplier, but once we're all said and done, I'll let you guys know so you guys could purchase a shirt yourselves and join the Avenue, because you guys are already part of Heroes Avenue, right? So this will be our official shirt. But yeah, this is it. It's pretty cool, right? So it has this little Batman head. It says Heroes Avenue, if you guys could see. And then we got our little, how good that is, but our little link right there. Yeah, it's pretty cool. Shout out to Daryl, our graphic designer. He made the shirt, so shout out to him. But yeah, let's carry on with this episode. So today we're gonna be reading the comments of our previous videos. I'm gonna touch on the James Gunn video and touch a lot on the Robert Pattinson video that Rob touched on yesterday. So or the other day. So yeah, let's get right to it. So the first comment from the James Gunn video is from Marvel and DC Comics. So the James Gunn video is pretty much me talking about how James Gunn came out and finally talked about being fired from Disney, and then what was going through his mind through it, and also he talked about Suicide Squad as well. And so this is what Marvel and DC Comics said. He said, "Forget about his issues and all the controversies surrounding him. He's only did two good things. An example, writing Dawn of the Dead and making the first Guardians of the Galaxy. The second film was fucking pathetic, and I know in my heart that the Suicide Squad has a high chance to be a bad film. There's a very small chance this film might be good." Wow, okay, so we're already making assumption that this movie's gonna be bad. Yeah, I don't know about that, and I mean, we're all, we all have our own opinions, but I don't agree that the second film of Guardians of the Galaxy was quote unquote fucking pathetic. It's not my favorite Guardians of the Galaxy. I think I gave it a in the 70s. I thought they kind of did too much with the jokes. But yeah, of course, the first Guardians of the Galaxy was fantastic. But the second one was still good. I mean, we can't knock on just because. I mean, it can't be either two extremes. It can't be really bad or it can't be hella good. There's a middle. There's a middle. So I think it's right in the middle for me at least. But yeah, I feel like it's far from being pathetic. And I feel like just because of his track record, we can't. I mean, he's on a roll right now. He's killing it. So you can't just assume Suicide Squad is gonna be bad. Yeah, I don't think that's I would bet you it's not gonna be bad. I think it's gonna, at the very least, it's gonna be okay, a lot better than what David Ayer did. So anything, as long as it's better than that movie, I think we're all gonna be okay. But yeah, we're all entitled to our opinion. So if you don't like any of his movies, that's up to you. All right. Anyways, so we have Sacklane Alvi. Sorry, he says, everybody deserves a second chance, and yeah, everyone does. I've known a lot of people that had a really dark past, and then they grew up, they have a family, they have they graduate college, and they're doing good. Especially with all the addicts that I've met throughout my childhood, and they're all doing great now. So people move on, people grow up. Come on. All right, so Silent K says, "I wonder if a black, Asian, or any other minority tweeted the same thing, will they get rehired? And will people start defending them? I'm happy for Gunn. He's a very creative director. I'm just wondering." Yeah, I don't think in terms of, I get what you're saying, because race is huge in Hollywood. I mean, we don't see that many Asian actors just because it's predominantly black and white. casting, and so I mean the minorities are trying to push themselves more, which is great. But I think that's for I think that's for people that are in front of the camera. I think people behind the camera, there's a lot more room. I think there's a lot more diversity. I mean, with James Wan, for example, I mean that guy is making a huge name for himself. He's Asian, so I think if this happened for James Wan, for example, if this was happening, the same thing. Same thing with him. He's on a high note with his career. So if we discover really nasty tweets from 2005 or 2000, Twitter didn't even exist in 2005, but back in 2008, 2009, 2010, whatever, I think people would still vouch for him. I think it would be the same exact thing, and I think Hollywood would still take him back. So as long as you show that you're sincere, you're not that kind of person anymore, and your cast even supports you. I mean, look at I think his Simon Kinberg, right? So Simon Kinberg, he's having like legal cases because there's like this. He was part of like this cult where like they would mess with children, and it's super dark, and you don't hear anything about the cast members from X-Men talking, backing him up, right? So it's different. It's different for each person. So it really depends on who you are as a person now, and if the outside people actually could see that. So Simon Kinberg, that guy is a little questionable. I feel like there's some hints of darkness in his past, where he probably broke the law, definitely, probably did some nasty stuff. So yeah. Anyways, let's move on. I don't want to get too dark here. So this is Shin Akage. He says, I'd argue DC isn't hurting because they tried to copy Marvel. DC is hurting because they tried to rush the Justice League rather than world build to a point where Marvel is now. I mean, I see what you're saying. I think DC or Warner Brothers, they still tried to emulate what Marvel is doing, thus like getting the Avengers involved, and rushing. So they tried to emulate what Marvel has built, and try to flip it their way, but also rush into the ensemble cast to get that $1 billion mark, like the Avengers. And so we saw this whole rushing with Justice Leagues. I mean, yeah. So I mean, in some way, they did try to copy Marvel to get to the ensemble cast movie, and try to make it their own on the way, and it just didn't work out. They should have just point by point copied them, because that would have gotten us our Man of Steel movie, Batman movie, Aquaman movie, Wonder Woman, Cyborg, Flash, Green Lantern, and then a Justice League. That would have worked, but yeah, they didn't. So all right, move on. So we got Firestorm. He says, we all make mistakes. Some are bigger and have major consequences to our lives. The redemption we have from it makes our lives better. So truly respect that. Truly agree. I mean, I could just see it from the comments that all of us have been through something and got out of it. So thank you for agreeing with that. So WR Carter 4 says, best video I've seen from you, Darren. Felt your empathy through the camera. Thank you for your take on the situation. Thank you for commenting on that. That was super kind of you. I really love that comment. So every time I try to speak from the heart, sometimes it's a little scary because it's on YouTube, and I don't know how you guys are gonna react, because I'm trying to put my guard down. And so I'm really glad that you guys were able to see that when you guys watched the James Gunn video. So yeah, thank you so much, and thank you for not being a horrific internet and just coming at me with jabs. So thank you for that. And we got from a video where I talked about how Jared Leto thinks that DC is doing okay. John Sorvelis says, you shouldn't look at the Rotten Tomato scores in the first place. They are known meme and confirmed shills. The scores are ridiculous. And so he's only talking about this because I was comparing Phase 1 with Marvel and the first 6 movies or first 7 movies of DC. And I was looking at the box office numbers, and I was looking at the Rotten Tomato scores. And yeah, Rotten Tomato scores, it's hard to compare the two because the percentage is judging by how many people are scoring it, right? So if two people like reviewed a Wonder Woman movie and they both gave it 100%, I mean, her total score is going to be 100%. But if we're comparing a movie that got 1,000, reviews, and some had 100, some gave it like 5 stars, 100 or whatever, and some gave it 30, some gave it like a 50 and all that stuff, and the total percentage came out to like 70%, and this is like an Avengers movie. Does that mean this Avengers movie is like better than this Wonder Woman movie that only got 2 reviews? No, because you're not comparing apple to apples. So you have to compare. It's hard because you have to compare things that have the same amount of reviewers, and that's how you do it. So it would be like 100 reviews here, 100 reviews here, 100 reviews here, and then you see the total score. That would make sense because you're comparing apples to apples. But if you're comparing something that is unbalanced with the amount of reviews, it's not going to work out. And plus, Rotten Tomato score doesn't justify how good or quality of the movie, or how good it is, or if one movie is better than the other. It's just a collective score. So it's just how many people like this one compared to the other movies. So yeah. All right, so let's move on, and we got Chuan Jiang. He says, this is for the Batman story. Robert Pattinson, by the way. So he says, I don't see Nicholas as Batman. He doesn't have the vibe. He is more like a type for Superman. I think Rob will be a good choice. I trust him and Matt Reeves. So he's talking about Nicholas Hoult. So yeah, it's good to see that some of you guys agree with the Robert Pattinson choice. I myself, I could see where DC's coming from, but if there was another choice, I would definitely choose the other person. I definitely would not choose Rob. He's not my first choice, but I tend to trust the decision makers behind all these casting choices with Warner Brothers, and they have not failed me up to this point. So yeah, I'm more curious than ever. I'm just not 100% on board, but hey, I'm gonna just take it as it is. All right, so we got Isaac Oluwade. He says, watching Good Time right now. Robert is really, really good in it. You should check it out. I watched his other dramas. I still haven't seen Good Time. I saw this other drama that was on Netflix. I forgot the title of what that one is called. But Good Time, I'm hearing a lot of good reviews from him, from that movie. So, all right, so the next comment is Leroy Kong, and he says, I am outraged. This is a bad casting choice. This movie is a boycott for me. I am sorry. Warner Brothers has killed the DCEU and the Batman franchise. They are clowns. Yikes. I'm sorry you feel that way. I wouldn't judge a movie just based on the casting. Come on, guys. Don't do that. Don't judge a book by its cover. I understand the Robert Pattinson stigma. I truly understand, because hey, I'm not for him, but I'm just gonna accept it. I can see where they're coming from, because he's doing a lot of indie movies, trying to change his career path. I understand that, but I'm still gonna keep an open mind, because I am a diehard comic book fan. I'm wearing a freaking Batman shirt that I made for my YouTube channel. So it is what it is. I don't think you should boycott it. I'm sure when you see the trailers, I'm sure this person will change his views. I hope so. And so we got Kumail Ali. He says Nicholas Hoult is a better choice. WBR fags. I don't like saying that word, but they had a stellar best ultimate version of Batman in form of Batfleck in DCEU. From Ben Affleck to Robert Pattinson. What a bathos in the craft of casting actors for the roles. My only prayer to God is that Henry Cavill remains our fair, quintessential Superman in the present DCU for the longest time conceivable. So yeah, poor choice of words in the beginning of the comment, but I definitely agree. I really hope Henry Cavill stays as Superman, because he is perfect as Clark Kent and Superman. All right, so we got Sergio Lopez. He says, I overreacted when they had Ben Affleck, and now I think he was a good Batman. So yes, I'm keeping in mind on this one. So yeah, I remember the time Ben Affleck was casted. I remember where I was about to get a haircut from my boy in his garage, and I remember this is right after Argo. I'm like, that makes total sense. Ben Affleck is trying to change his career. He just won an Oscar. This makes total sense. And I didn't know which direction they were going with. I had an idea, because they're gonna go with the Dark Knight Returns, but I was all for it. But I knew there was gonna be huge backlash, just like how there always is with these comic book movies. But everyone has to everyone has to watch the trailer or just see. I remember the time when I remember the photo when Zack Snyder released the photo of Ben Affleck as Batman. It just blew everyone out the water. It just destroyed all the haters. Suddenly everyone is on board. And then when the trailer came out, everyone was really on board. I mean, there were some haters, but I think majority everyone just flipped the switch. So don't make your judgment yet on Robert Pattinson. I'm not, even though I would choose someone else. I'm still curious on how this movie is. I'm not gonna boycott this movie. Hell no. This is Matt Reeves we're talking about. I mean, he's no. You gotta remember, Robert Pattinson. He's also going to be in Christopher Nolan's next film. Christopher Nolan doesn't just choose bad actors to be in his movie. You really think he would? He would not do that. So there's something special that Christopher Nolan is seeing with Robert Pattinson, and what all these other casting directors are seeing with him, especially Matt Reeves. So if you believe in if you believe in Matt Reeves and you believe in Christopher Nolan, you have to believe in this casting decision with Robert Pattinson as Batman. So I'm gonna leave you guys with that. So thank you for all the comments. Again, every Sunday we're gonna read your comments, and we post videos on Mondays, Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays, and Sunday is going to be our reading the comments day. So stay tuned for more videos. If you guys are going to FanAnimeCon this weekend, we'll see you guys there. Say what's up to us. We're going to be wearing these shirts, and I guess I'll see you again. Bye.